BJ Mafia, what's poppin'? The Jacksonville Jaguars will be playing host to the San Francisco 49ers in a Week 10 matchup at Everbank Stadium. The Jaguars, who started the season off 1-2, have now won 5 consecutive games, and they sit with a record of 6-2. The Niners, on the other hand, got off to an extremely hot start. They started the season off 5-0, and the Niners have now lost 3 consecutive games. Both of these teams are coming off of a bye week, both looking to get healthy, both looking to regroup, and now we're going to see the debut for the 49ers of Chase Young after he got acquired from the Washington Commanders. And the Jaguars have a handful this week. The Niners got a big test ahead of them as well too. So we've got a lot to talk about in today's video. But before we actually go ahead and get into today's preview matchup, if you guys please could go ahead and drop me a thumbs up, hit that subscribe bell to stay tuned for more Jaguars content that I do here on YouTube, and make sure you guys also go ahead and follow me on my socials, especially on Twitter or X, whatever you guys call it now. But make sure you guys go ahead and do that. The link tree will be in the description down below. But let's actually go ahead and get into today's matchup. Now, starting off with the 49ers, the biggest injury news and update is going to come with left tackle Trent Williams. He has not played since that first loss back in week 6 versus the Cleveland Browns. He suffered a high ankle sprain, and Trent Williams, as of Wednesday, has not practiced. He is a DNP, and he may not even practice on Thursday, according to Kyle Shanahan. But Kyle Shanahan did make it very clear that he does have the possibility of still playing on Sunday, even without practicing this week. So there's still the possibility, and he'll probably be a game time decision if Trent Williams is going to play or not with that high ankle sprain. Also, the 49ers are potentially going to be getting back wide receiver Deebo Samuel, who is going to be one of the most explosive players on the field on Sunday afternoon. He suffered a hairline fracture in his shoulder in the same game back in week 6 versus the Cleveland Browns. Deebo Samuel has not played since then. He was a full participant in practice. And then also another key injury for the San Francisco 49ers is with Aaron Banks, their left guard. He has turf toe, so I expect him to be out for this game, as he did not practice this week so far. So starting with the Jaguars injuries, let's go in the secondary, and that starts with Andre Cisco and Tyson Campbell. Andre Cisco did not play in that New Orleans Saints game, and Tyson Campbell missed that game. Both of those guys missed the Pittsburgh Steelers game as well too. So now they've got a couple weeks of rest, and I expect them, who have been limited participants in practice, to go ahead and play this week. Now with the offensive side of the ball, wide receiver Zay Jones, he's only appeared in 3 games this year. We know how valuable big play Zay is to this offense and to this team. A very good and reliable receiver. He does a lot of great things on the outside and creates a lot of mismatches. He was a limited participant, and we have not seen Zay Jones in a handful of weeks. I really hope to get this guy back out there on the field, especially for the offense's sake. But talking about San Francisco's offense, Kyle Shanahan, the head coach of the 49ers, since coming to the 49ers and really just in general, is one of the best offensive play callers in the game of football. He's one of the best head coaches, and he has proven that with his track record over an extended period of time. San Francisco's offense this season is averaging 27 points a game, which ranks 4th in the NFL. They're also top 5 in third down conversion, red zone efficiency, and in total yards per game. And even though they've suffered 3 straight losses, they've only scored 17 points in each of those 3 losses, at Cleveland, at Minnesota, and versus the Cincinnati Bengals. Now, this is a team that plays very good football when you talk about playing great defense, running the ball effectively, and getting Brock Purdy to be in a position to be successful. But they've kind of gotten away from that. The turnovers have really been killing them, because I feel as if they've been moving the ball well, especially when I went back and I watched a couple of their games this season. But the problem is these turnovers have been killing them. When you take a look at Brock Purdy, he got off to a sensational start to this season as he was in the MVP conversation. 9 touchdowns to just 0 interceptions. These last 3 games have been a different story for him. He's kind of hitting a little bit of a wall right now, a little bit of a bump in the road. Just 3 touchdowns to 5 interceptions. They need to do a better job of taking care of the ball in San Francisco. While they do have an explosive offense that features great dynamic playmakers, obviously Christian McCaffrey, a top 1, top 2 back in the game of football, George Kittle, getting Deebo Samuel back, Brandon Ayuk on the outside. They have a solidified offensive core and nucleus that Kyle Shanahan has a lot of talent to work with. I expect Brock Purdy, if this team is healthy, to play much better, but Jacksonville does have a great defense. Jacksonville's defense will have their hands full with Kyle Shanahan's offense, as Christian McCaffrey currently is tied for 1st in the NFL, alongside Raheem Mostert with 13 total touchdowns in the NFL. But Jacksonville's defense is tied for 1st in the NFL, alongside the New Orleans Saints, with 18 total takeaways on the season. This has been an extremely opportunistic group. Defensive coordinator Mike Caldwell has done a phenomenal job of schematically getting the Jaguars in positions to be successful, and having guys hover around the ball and to be able to make plays out there. They have done a great job, and Brock Purdy's going to have a very difficult time against this Jaguars front seven and this Jaguars defense as well. Jaguars linebacker Josh Allen has been leading the way and has been the catalyst for why this Jaguars defense has been so successful this season. He's recorded 9 sacks, 39 quarterback pressures, and he's forced 2 fumbles. In the secondary, Darius Williams has been playing at an all-pro level. He currently has an 87.8 coverage grade according to PFF. He's got 3 interceptions and is number 1 in the NFL with 14 passes deflected. When you take a look at the Jaguars' run defense, especially going up against a dynamic guy and Christian McCaffrey, they are averaging 3.4 yards per carry to opposing running backs. They've done a great job. And Jaguars linebacker Foye Oluokun, who's led the NFL in tackles the last 2 seasons, is one of the best run-stopping and just overall linebackers in the game of football. Brock Purdy in this San Francisco's defense does not have an easy task going up against this Jaguars defense. And if Trent Williams is good to go for this game, expect that matchup to be alongside Trayvon Walker. I would expect Jaguars outside linebacker Josh Allen on the left side of the defensive edge over their right tackle, Colton McKivitz, who's allowed 6 sacks this season. Definitely the weak link on those right tackles because obviously Trent Williams is a future first ballot Hall of Famer. Now let's talk Jaguars offense versus San Francisco's defense. In Jacksonville's offense, the backbone of this team has been with their defense being opportunistic, getting takeaways, and with their offense, it's been with Travis Etienne. Now that does not mean if you take away, quote, Travis Etienne, you stop this offense. You've still got other great dynamic playmakers on the outside. You've obviously got one of the best young quarterbacks in the game of football in Trevor Lawrence. This offense is not just predicated around Travis Etienne, but he has been sensational to say none the least this season. Etienne has scored a touchdown in now 4 consecutive games. Travis Etienne has 8 total touchdowns on the season, tied for 3rd in the NFL alongside Tyreek Hill. He's got 583 yards on the ground, 3.9 yards per carry. He's also got 266 reception yards, averaging damn near 10 yards per catch. Travis Etienne has been one of the best running backs in the game of football. I think he's on a 1A, 1B tier alongside CMC this year. And quarterback at the helm, number 16, Trevor Lawrence, has been superb so far this season. He's getting the ball out extremely timely and quickly. According to Next Gen Stats, Trevor Lawrence is getting the ball out with an average of 2.41 seconds from the time it gets snapped to the time it's out of his hands. Trevor Lawrence has done a great job of keeping himself clean. Even when the offensive line hasn't been perfect, Trevor Lawrence is able to evade pressure, obviously make the right reads pre-snap, and be able to pick apart defenses in those zones. Trevor Lawrence has done a great job, and even when he's not throwing the intermediate passes, he has the ability to make those deep shots, and he's been the best deep thrower in the game of football this season. Trevor Lawrence has a 98.3 grade, throws of 20-plus yards this season, which is ranked 1st in the NFL according to PFF. Trevor Lawrence has been sensational. He has his bonehead plays once in a while. Obviously, that interception and triple coverage versus the Pittsburgh Steelers on 1st and goal was a heartbreaker. Yes, it happened, but Trevor Lawrence this season has been phenomenal. And when you look at the weapons that surround Trevor Lawrence, he is surrounded with a plethora of talent around him that Doug Peterson and Press Taylor have to work with. We talked about Travis Etienne. You look on the outside to Zay Jones, who could potentially be playing this week. Calvin Ridley, Evan Ingram has been one of the best tight ends in the game of football. Christian Kirk in the slot, Jamal Agnew doing his thing on the outside. There is plenty of talent on this Jaguars offense, and the 49ers have a lot to handle with Jacksonville's offense as well too, if they can get things going with their offensive play calling. Then you go ahead and talk about San Francisco's defense, and this is where this game is going to be won. In the trenches. San Francisco's defense has all-pro talent on all 3 levels. They obviously just acquired Chase Young. This season, I expect him to be going up against Cam Robinson, and I expect Nick Bosa to be on the opposite side versus Anton Harrison, who the Jaguars did a great job with Anton Harrison versus TJ Watt in their last matchup. But then you're obviously going to talk about guys like Javon Hargrave, Dre Greenlaw, Javon Kinlaw. Fred Warner's probably the best linebacker in the game of football. In the secondary, you've got Tayshaun Gibson making his return back to Jacksonville, Tre'Davious Ward. Just so much talent on this San Francisco 49ers team. They can rush 4, drop 7 back in coverage, and they do a phenomenal job of still pressuring the quarterback. On over 40% of quarterback dropbacks, they create pressure on the quarterback, and even though they are tied for 8th worst in the NFL with only 18 sacks, Steve Wilks does not have this defense really getting home to the quarterback. This is still a phenomenal defense, tremendous talent at all three levels. A team that runs a lot of 4-3, a lot of cover 2 flat concepts. They want to keep their eyes on the quarterback, especially how quickly they can get home to the quarterback and generate that pressure. This is going to be a tall task for Trevor Lawrence versus that 49ers defense. And I expect the Jaguars, I'm going to say it right here, right now, expect them to throw a lot of bubble screens, get the ball out quickly. I don't expect a huge game from Travis Etienne in terms of the receiving department. I think Fred Warner, with a lot of those quarterback spies, is going to really be eating that up and taking that away. Expect a big game from Evan Ingram and Christian Kirk, really in the intermediate routes over the field. And when they get their shots on play action, they will take their shots over the top with Calvin Ridley, with Zay Jones on the outside. Expect this Jaguars offense to get a lot of bubble screens, a lot of screen passes, and a lot of passes out extremely quick. You do not want that front seven generating any pressure or really getting home to your franchise quarterback. Now, getting into my final verdict for this game, I think Jacksonville ultimately pulls out and wins this game 23-20 over the San Francisco 49ers. This is going to be a relatively low-scoring affair. And I think the ultimate deal breaker for this game is going to be playing at Everbank Stadium. The Jaguars have the home crowd rocking, and even though 49er fans travel exceptionally well, and I got to witness it firsthand back in 2021 when San Francisco came to Jacksonville, this is the team that's just playing with a lot more swagger and juice and a lot more confidence right now. And even though the 49ers have a lot to work with right now going in their direction, getting potentially Trent Williams back, getting Deebo Samuel back, and now having acquired Chase Young, I think Jacksonville at home ultimately gets this win, and I like the Jaguars to win this game 23-20 over the San Francisco 49ers. They will improve to 7-2 on the season and consecutively have 6 wins in a row. The 49ers fans and Jaguar fans, please let me know your guys' thoughts in the comments down below. Who do you guys think wins this game? And please give me a score prediction in the comments down below. Like I said, I got Jacksonville winning this game 23-20. But Jags fans, Niner fans, if you guys enjoyed today's video, make sure you guys drop me a thumbs up. Hit that subscribe bell to stay tuned for more Jaguars content that I do here on YouTube. And make sure you guys also go ahead and follow me on my socials, especially on Twitter. I'm very active and I'm on there every single day. The link tree will be in the description down below, so you guys can go ahead and check that out. But Jaguar fans, thank you guys again for sticking around throughout the whole video. Brett James, aka BJ, I'm out, y'all. And like always, let's go Jags. Peace.